สวัสดีครับMabuhay. Hola, hi, how are you? It's admin call of KP1 Worldwide, and good evening, everybody worldwide. As usual, I already informed all of you that today I will be visited by probably one of the best speaker of the era. Okay. Um, she is considered a Cinderella in real life, according to her inspirational journey. All right, and I wish all of you to get to know my queen of the day, Cinderella Faye Obenita, Miss Intercontinental Philippines 2021 from Cagayan de Oro city in Misamis province of the
Yeah.
Philippines, Iceland. Okay, can you say hi to all the fans and introduce yourself, please, Cindy?
Hi, sawadika to everyone tuning in, and most especially to all Filipinos all over the world. Good evening to each one of you. I'm so grateful
No,
to
so
KP1
just keep
Worldwide.
going, keep going.
Thank you so much, Ko, for inviting me, and thank you so much also to BPCI for allowing me to take part in this interview. It's gonna be an amazing night up ahead of us. I'm very excited for this conversation, Ko. I'm very excited to be learning a lot from you, and most definitely looking forward to all the positive comments of everyone tuning in. I hope that you're all safe. I hope that you've eaten your dinner already, and please do follow our protocols. There you go, Ko. We're seeing a lot of comments already.
Yes, it's just start and it will come along very
Yeah.
many more. Okay, and all the fans, you can read some a short brief about
I
her on
will.
my caption, and even start we can tell that she very eloquent, very extremely articulate. Okay, no one can stop her. All right, even me. Okay, Cindy, all the fans, especially abroad, outside Philippines, would love to know about when you actually um, find first love in pageantry, and when you this first start, and how you like been going through along the way until you being proud to till this day. Would that be so hard to get here?
Yeah, so you know what, Ko? I started pageantry way back in high school. I started with school pageants and then eventually local pageants. I won Miss Camiguin in 2019, and I mean in 2015, and Miss Cagayan de Oro in 2019. So immediately right after that, I screened for Binibining Pilipinas. That was my first ever national pageant. So I
Mm.
got the support of the local government in Misamis Oriental, and also the people in CDO and MESOR. And then when we were proclaimed as finalists for Binibining Pilipinas, I actually strengthened my preparations, and with the postponement, because Binibini announced an indefinite postponement. So we competed in Binibini for like almost 2 years. You see, imagine the hardship. But I think all of the girls were really courageous, and we really commend each one that they really tried to, push and work hard, that they would be able to successfully overcome the challenges. So I'm very happy, and I'm so grateful for all the people who have helped me in this competition.
Right. Um, and I think I saw some clip before about you being proud. In it's just like a big pageant as well. Was that in your province or somewhere else?
Yeah, I think that was Miss Cagayan de Oro
Oh,
in 2019.
right, right.
Yeah.
So most of I mean I'm would like to get information from you. Like mostly when you compete, you tend to win as your first time always, or you like repeater.
Not all the time ko. Not all the time. There were also defeats, but victory is really possible for people who refuse to stop fighting, and that has been our mantra. We never stop fighting, and we really put up a good fight. You really need to work hard and definitely train harder for you to come out successful in your any endeavor or in any pageants that you participate in.
Right. Okay. So tell me a little bit how big difference between the local, not actually the local, the provincial pageant and bidding meaning, which is the national one. How big different?
Well, Bini Bini is the most prestigious pageant here in our country, and it's very different from the local pageants because you are competing against pageant veterans. Like you see these queens have already proven themselves, and you're competing against them. And as a newbie, uh, so as a newbie in a national pageant scene,
Hmm.
I should acknowledge that I don't have that enough exposure compared to these girls. So we really need to work on our, social media presence, our Q&A, our passerella, because we really need to slay all the portions of the pageant, like the swimsuit round, the pre-pageant activities. So
Hmm.
we do have our pre-pageant activities also in Binibini. We have the talent competition, evening gown, national costume, and
Hmm.
even the swimsuit. So many things that you really need to prepare for.
Mm. Right. So have you got a big team behind you when you compete bidding meaning this time?
Definitely, ko. I have my core team. Yeah, so my team is from Cagayan de Oro. They've been with me I think since my first pageant, Miss Teen Cagayan de Oro. So I was also recently adopted by a Manila-based beauty camp that's Aces and Queens. So it was really a collaborative effort between the two camps. So I'm so grateful to them, to my mentors, to my trainers, to my coaches.
And also about your, I mean, um, I mean, communication skill. Is this like your natural gift, or is something you have been trained for a really long time?
Because in high school, I competed in a lot of journalistic stints or endeavors. So I think eventually we've learned a lot. And then once you are really passionate about what you're doing, it won't be impossible. Like you really need to put your heart into it. You really need to learn a lot from it. And success really ko is no accident because in Binibini, I always acknowledge that what happened during that very coronation night was really a product of our work, of the perseverance of the whole team, of so much studying, sacrifices, and most of all, I think love of what we're really doing and what we're learning, and really love of what we're passionate about.
Right.
Yeah.
Mind you if I translate in Thai a little bit? Okay.
Sure. How would you translate that goal?
เคอย่างนี้นะครับสวัสดีแฟนๆคนไทยทุกคนนะครับก็คือซินดี้เนี่ยเขาน่ารักมากซินดี้นี่เขาขึ้นชื่อว่าเป็นคนที่แบบพูดคือแค่เนี้ยเราก็รู้แล้วเขาเป็นคนพูดเก่งอ่ะฮะแล้วก็เอ่อประวัติของซินดี้เนี่ยเขาก็เริ่มประกวดตั้งแต่เขาอยู่โรงเรียนเลยเนาะประกวดมาเรื่อยๆก็เลยถามเพราะว่าบินิมินี่ครั้งนี้เป็นครั้งแรกเนาะแล้วก็มงใหญ่เลยก่อนหน้านี้เขาก็มงในจังหวัดของเขาเนอะก็คือคาดายันเดอโอโรนะคะในจังหวัดมิสซามิสเนาะนะคะคราวนี้เนี่ยเขาก็บอกว่าไม่หรอกไม่ได้ชนะหมดหรอกก็คือมันก็มีแพ้บ้างอะไรอย่างเงี้ยมันก็ต้องใช้ความพยายามคราวนี้เขาก็บอกว่าเนี่ยไอการที่พูดเก่งขนาดเนี้ยแล้วก็ตอบดีเนี่ยมันเป็นยังไงพรสวรรค์ไหมหรือว่าเป็นพรแสวงที่ฝึกมาอะไรอย่างเงี้ยคราวนี้เนี่ยซินดี้เขาบอกว่าคือมันไม่ใช่เรื่องบังเอิญหรอกนะของพวกเนี้ยเขาก็บอกนะเพราะว่าเขาเนี่ยตั้งแต่โรงเรียนละไฮสคูลเนี่ยก็คือเขาแบบว่าลงแข่งขันโต้วาทีประจำโต้วาทีแล้วก็ทางด้านเรื่องตอบโต้เรื่องการสื่อสารเนอะ journalistic เนี่ยเขาก็เลยคล้ายๆว่ามันก็เลยซึมซับไงก็เลยซึมซับเขาก็เลยแบบชำนาญเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเรื่องการพูดของซินดี้เนี่ยก็คือหายห่วงนะครับแล้วคราวนี้เนี่ยเขามาลงประกวดบินนิ่งครั้งเนี้ยเขาก็มีทีมเนาะที่ให้การสนับสนุนเขาอยู่เบื้องหลังนะคราวนี้เนี่ยเดี๋ยวเรามาฟังกันต่อเนาะเขาน่าสนใจมากๆเลยแล้วเขาเป็นคนอารมณ์ดีน่ารักเขายังไม่เคยมาเมืองไทยนะแล้วเขาชอบวัดอรุณพอเขาเห็นฉากหลังนะso okay I translate to all the fans once we keep going and also I mean you is
You're so
regard
good. You can be the
you is
official
regard
translator of the pageant.
yes you is regard one of the best speaker lately and would you mind to share some tip for many beauty queen or many young girls that wish to become beauty queen that how would they train themselves or how would they grow grow some like affinity towards speaking so they probably not be afraid when they encounter a mic.
I think the secret there, Kim, is to really read a lot, because that could be your best weapon in all of your endeavors, be it in the pageant scene, be it in medical field, or whatever path you want to take. So really read up a lot, read news, you research, you read studies, read up on information that will really make you understand the needs of the communities, because you see, we have now transcended in an era where beauty pageants are not all about glitz and glamour. Beauty pageants are becoming more purposeful. So you really need to amplify your voice. And since your desire to help is already there, so I think the next step is learning more about these issues. You need to be knowledgeable of all the issues that are happening around you, happening around the world, because when you're that knowledgeable, when you're that uh, equipped, I think nothing is sexier than a learned woman. There is so much power in that, Ko.
I totally agree. I mean, before
Yeah,
before you become a great speaker, you got to have like a big archive of knowledge inside of you.
definitely.
So when you're ready to communicate with people, you just retrieve all the resource in you and convey into the
Yeah.
message. So I totally agree with you. And you leave such a memorable quote in millions of people mind during the coronation night. Do you still remember it?
So many people are greeting us. Sana, what's that? These are from Thailand. Hello.
Yes, yes. Okay, Cindy. About your answer, that night.
Yeah.
Do you still remember?
I've been seeing a lot of posts online, so it's hard to forget.
Okay. I just abridged part of your whole and
Wow, you're so prepared.
so your memorable
Mm-mm.
is to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. Wow, that's
Thank
great.
you.
And also because recently, this early morning, as we all know, I read the news that Philippines send the carrier to to evacuate
Yeah,
citizens from
from
Afghanistan.
Afghanistan.
Yes, to be back, home in Philippines. And according to your answer, and also your great speaker and your beauty queen. So in this situation, I think it's just the right time for you to comfort the afflicted.
Yeah.
Okay. So, might you tell me to send the message to Filipinos who still, stuck in that zone?
Yeah.
Definitely, Filipinos are the pageant lover. Uh-huh. So I knew that they would, so glad and get tremendously uplifted by your message here.
Yeah, so Ko, with the turmoil going on around the world, I think as peoples, as nations, we should be able to realize our commonality, and definitely that is to preserve humanity. That if we have, as I have said in my answer in Binibining Pilipinas Coronation Night, that if we have the resources, if we have overflowing resources, so we are knocking on your hearts to really help these people, no, who are deprived of their rights, and let's be with them, let's help them if we are able to, and definitely let's pray for them that the international community will come together and that they would extend help, especially to Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, what about if I would love you to send a direct message to the Filipinos in Afghanistan now? What would you like to say? In English first and then in Tagalog, please.
Yeah, so to all Filipinos who are there, I think we should really hold on to faith and hold on to hope that there are very much so many people willing to extend their help, not just to the Filipinos, but to everyone affected of this crisis. That together you would be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and that these dark times won't be here forever. Just like COVID-19, so many countries also have overcame the battle. So it's nothing new to us. We have faced already so many challenges, yet we come out stronger. So let's just see this as another battle, because definitely strongest challenges are given to strongest people.
Mm, yep, that's right. So, for Thailand, we quite very vigilant. Long before, about 2 or 3 weeks ago, our embassy already,
Yeah.
warned Thai citizen in Afghanistan
Mm-mm.
try to evacuate or move or cross the border because
Mm-mm.
some particular group tend to overpower the previous one. So
Yeah.
so that's why this morning I saw the news that Philippines just in a hurry to reach out.
To
Um,
rescue.
yes,
Mm-mm.
yeah, to reach out Filipinos to get back home. That's really good, and I think if Filipino is Afghanistan still got a signal and watch the program, be here for you. Okay, just hold on to hope. Okay, all the
Yes.
assistants just rushing to you. All right, and stay safe. Okay, and also also according to this situation, um, we tend to say, it's a bit of war, okay, in the war zone, sort of. So a lot of people just free away. So what about in your point of view? Definitely, there's a lot of Afghans that wouldn't agree with the old system, who come back and would love to run out of the country to start a new life in the more democratic countries. So, as a Filipinos, um, would you what would you think if some Afghans just ask for help, that Philippine, would you mind to accept me as a refugee and start a new life? What would you think?
I don't see any problem with Philippines accepting refugees because during the Vietnam War, we have already extended our help to the Vietnamese. So accepting the people who are affected with this conflict here in the Philippines would somehow be likened to our gestures during the Vietnam War. So there is really no problem with that at all. I think we should just be more mindful of the situation here in the Philippines, that we are also facing the wrath of COVID-19, and that we should also prioritize the welfare of the Filipinos, so that when we accept refugees or evacuees, we would also to give them the great services. So yeah, that I think is very important, to prioritize the needs so that we would be able to further our assistance.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
I mean, at this time, it's quite a crisis, I think.
Yeah, I think all of the nations
Yes, that's
are.
why.
Mm-mm.
So I mean, if we could help, I do agree with you. All right, because if we were in that situation, we probably need someone to lend our hand. Lend their hands to us as well. And
Yeah,
I'm glad indeed. Before our show started, I saw the news sprang up on my screen, and it said that Philippines is ready to take refugee. So I mean, but uh, I
your
mean,
touch. Mm-mm.
I couldn't find the word. I think you're so kind. I mean, I'm quite not sure about the like the principle of being Philippines. Would you mind
Yeah.
telling me a little bit? What is your country principle?
We always believe in kindness. I think that's one of the greatest values here in our country, that no matter what we're dealing with, we always give our best. We always give assistance to those in need. We don't hesitate. Even we don't have that enough resources, we still help
Hmm.
so many people. You're hearing me clearly?
Yes, I do. I
Okay,
do.
that's good.
What about you? Can you hear
Hello?
me clearly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-mm.
Right. All right. I mean, I want. I don't take any political sides. Okay, but
Yeah, that's
I will give compliment to either side as long as they're doing good. Okay, so I would love to thank you, the Philippines, that's so kind to ready to take Afghan, okay, as a refugee, because a lot of people just frantically freeing the country, but they just stuck, and they don't
yeah.
resource or don't find any way out. So thank you, Philippine, indeed, that you already lending the hand to Afghans. I'm so appreciated, even though I'm Thai. Okay, I'm just I mean I'm got teary eye at the moment because it's so. I mean, it's so noble. It's so noble.
Yeah. It's
Indeed.
so selfless.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mm-mm.
That's right. And also, I mean, your province is in the south. And
Yeah.
what is good about your province?
So many tourist spots in Misamis Oriental. So just like Thailand, we are also rich in terms of natural resources. So when you're looking for adventure, for food, for tourism, so be it faith tourism, so many things that you can do in Misamis Oriental and Cagayan de Oro. It's like the Philippines in a nutshell because yes, because we have the White Island, so many waterfalls, diving spots. So definitely a must visit. So put that in your bucket list. That once
So
you visit the Philippines, you explore Miss Or.
yes, I would love to. I mean, I think if I would have a chance to go aside from Manila, because if I go to Philippines,
Mm-mm.
I have to drop in Manila first anyway, because the airport is there. I probably would love to go south, like to go
Hey,
sort
looking
of.
forward to meeting you there. I would be your tour guide.
Oh, thank you indeed. I'm so glad. I'm so glad indeed. And
We
also,
also
yeah,
we also have sticky rice and we also have sweet mango.
really.
But we serve it differently,
Okay,
not together, just like yours. Mm-mm.
okay. How do you serve? What is your right? I
On
mean,
separate plates.
oh really? Like you have sticky rice, one spoon, and then you just have a mango, another spoon.
Oh,
Would
we
that be
don't eat it together. We don't eat it together.
so?
Yes.
How do you eat? How do you
Um,
eat?
for sticky rice, it's with sugar, not the milk, not the condensed milk.
Sugar.
Yeah, or evaporated milk, or whatever milk. It's with sugar.
Oh, that's too. I mean, I think that's too extreme for Thai.
That's how creative we are. Cool.
So what else do you have with the sticky
We
rice?
have yes. So for the sticky rice, we eat it anytime. No specific month.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I'm quite surprised. Indeed, I mean, if I have a chance, I would love to try. Even though I feel a little bit unfamiliar. Okay.
Have you tried lechon?
No, not yet.
You
I
haven't?
I got to tell you, I never, ever try Filipino food. So that's why most of interview that I did with all the queen, I try to get recommended by them about Filipino food. So if I have time, and I would love to visit like Filipino restaurants
Yay!
and have a try. And also Cindy, I rarely knew about your advocacy, honestly. Okay,
Yeah.
I think I'm sorry.
Mm.
So would you mind to repeat or tell me again, please?
Yes, so I founded Crown CDO Co. It is uh, a cervical cancer prevention and awareness circle. So it is in partnership with an organization also named Misamis Oriental Physician Nurses Foundation Incorporated. So these two organizations have been working to spread awareness on cervical cancer. Like, we go to the different barangays, we
Mm,
go to hinterland communities and do our seminars, our symposiums, so that at the end of the activity, we would be able to know who among them would want to get screened for cervical cancer. And then we transport them to our partner hospital. And then immediately right after that, we after the screening, they get tested. I mean, they got treated for cervical cancer.
right.
Yeah.
So, why did you go for this advocacy about a
It's
cervical cancer?
Yeah. So it's a very personal advocacy call because three of my loved ones died of cancer. And the very reason why I chose cervical cancer is because it's the top two killer among women here in the Philippines. So what made me decide to choose cervical cancer is really to focus on the effects. So since breast cancer is the first and most of our attention, we put it on breast cancer, and somehow we tend to forget about cervical cancer, so that's why we focused on cervical cancer. And so many people also don't know their status, so you see, knowing is half the battle.
Mm, mm, right.
Because they're really afraid that cervical cancer screening would cost so much, would cost a lot. They don't know that there are several organizations that would give it to you for free. And also we have projects and programs in the government.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. So, I think because you into this advocacy, would you mind to tell according to the finding you had so far, what is the root cause? What is the most prevalent root cause of cervical cancer in Philippines?
Based on our screening we had in 2019, because right now our services are hampered because of COVID-19. So
Mm.
that hospital was being used as a COVID facility. So right now, most of our discussions are being done online. I think the main cause would have to be your lifestyle.
Mm.
Yes. And those who are not taking care of their bodies when they are taking contraceptives, and when they deal with contraceptives, I think it's very important that you really need to seek medical help as early as possible when you're feeling something. Don't let
Mm.
it worsen. Yeah.
Mm. So, it tends to stem from lifestyle. Uh-huh.
Lifestyle, definitely.
So, would you agree that we should give people, I mean, in all level, about sex education more? Because I think the cervical cancer probably has something related to sexual habit as well.
Yeah. Definitely. I think we should be more sensitive, yes, with the topic on sex education, but not forgetful also of the effects of it. That once we equip children with knowledge, especially on this kind of topic, that we're also giving them a great life up ahead of them, that they would be aware of the consequences of the things that they would do eventually, and also the treatment. So it's very important also that we should be mindful of our reproductive health, and definitely we should be knowledgeable of our healthcare system.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's very important when you mention about there's still many patients that wouldn't realize about the facility would give the treatment for free, or
Yes.
lesser cost. So how could you solve this problem, like to get them accessed easier to the sort of treatment, or
It
to be informed at least.
it really all boils down to awareness ko, because we should also realize that not all of them have the resources, like
Mm.
they don't have these devices that we may use once we do online discussions. We should also realize that not all of the people do have their phones, their laptops. So it really is so important to go to the communities, to personally, yeah, to personally conduct seminars, to personally make them aware of their rights, of the facilities available, of the treatment available. So it's really a collaborative work between the government, the non-government organizations, and even private sectors and volunteers. So that's where we come in, we beauty queens.
Right. So, according to this, so far, have you found it? Um, all the facility or all information being spread, would that be enough?
It would definitely be enough, once we strengthen our information drives. So definitely, it would be enough, especially for those who don't have that kind of access, that digital access. So I think it would help also if you give them leaflets or brochures. Yes, I think
Mm,
those are one of the ways to
mm.
educate them.
Right. So now you become a national beauty queen already. And about your advocacy, how would you get it driven from now on?
Well, we're really working hard to partner with our senators here in the country, cause so that we would be able to procure cervical cancer vaccines. Yes, and we will give it to women for free, of course. So I think right now, immediately right after COVID, we really work hard with private sectors as well, because these people do have that overflowing resources.
Mm,
So, as I have said, comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. So, knock on the hearts of this privilege.
right. So I understand that under COVID, it's not possible for
Yeah,
anyone, especially you, to go on the ground to meet like
yeah.
patient or someone related to your advocacy. So during this time, how do you still advocate your campaign?
Well, yes, it's definitely hard to do groundworks right now, knowing the restrictions, the different statuses, quarantine statuses here in the Philippines, and we've also experienced granular lockdown. So we are really making use of the digital platform. This is the best way to really further awareness, to educate more people, and really connect with more agencies and sectors.
Right. I think that's a good idea indeed. Uh-huh. So,
Yeah.
um, I'm quite not sure about cervical cancer. So, normally, what is the average age of majority of the patient of who experience cervical cancer in Philippines?
What is the, you mean the
Average age.
symptom?
No, no. Average age. Aged.
The
Aged. Aged. Age.
age. Ah, yeah. Yeah, so normally it's between 30s and 40s. Yes.
Really, very young.
Yes, that's according to our 2019 studies and the screening. So yes, it's really young ko. So that's why as early as possible you need to get screened. You need to know your status because there are treatments. Cervical cancer can still be treated.
Right, right. So, would you think that about how you consume would actually attribute to the cause of cervical cancer as well?
Definitely. I'm not in the position to say all the symptoms or the causes because I'm not a medical expert, but
Right.
based on our discussions, really it one thing that attributes to it is really your lifestyle, as I have said earlier. So, those who are always participating in drinking sessions, you see, those who are bleeding but really don't mind it,
Mm.
yeah, bleeding a lot, yeah,
Right. Okay. I probably would love to translate a little bit. Okay. It's very
yeah,
interesting and it's very beneficial for all. คืออย่างนี้นะคะก็ถามซินดี้เนาะเกี่ยวกับadvocacy ของเขาadvocacy ของซินดี้เนี่ยก็คือ cervical cancer เนาะก็ไม่มั่นใจว่ามันจะตรงหรือเปล่านะคะก็คือว่ามะเร็งรังไข่มั้งใช่ไหมหรือรังไข่ไหม คือ cervical นะคือผู้หญิงเนี่ยคราวนี้เป็นโรคที่ทำให้อัตราการเสียชีวิตเนี่ยมะเร็งนะเป็นอันดับสองในฟิลิปปินส์อือฮึแล้วก็ถามว่าเนี่ยส่วนใหญ่อายุของคนที่เป็นโรคนี้อายุเท่าไหร่ก็คือ30 ถึง 40เองนะคะอายุน้อยมากเลยก็เลยถามว่าอ้าวแล้วอย่างเงี้ยเท่าที่เขาเนี่ยทำจริงจังเนอะเหตุผลเพราะเนื่องจากว่าคนที่เขารักเนี่ยก็คือญาติพี่น้องคนใกล้ชิดเขาเนี่ยเสียชีวิตด้วย cervical cancer เนาะมันทำให้เอฟเฟกต์เขามากแล้วเขาก็เลยต้องการที่จะ raise awareness เนาะให้คนเนี่ยตระหนักรู้ว่าคือต้องมาตรวจให้ไวตรวจให้ไวก็ยังมีทางรักษานะครับอย่าปล่อยทิ้งไว้คราวนี้เนี่ยเท่าที่ซินดี้เนี่ยทำโครงการมาเนาะแล้วก็จากข้อมูลเนาะที่รีเสิร์ชอะก็จะพบว่าสาเหตุหลักเลยของโรคนี้ก็คือวิถีชีวิตเนาะวิถีการดำเนินชีวิตมีผลมากๆเลยนะคะไม่ว่ามันอันนี้มันรวมถึงเอ่ออาหารการกินแล้วก็เรื่องส่วนตัวนะครับเรื่องเพศสัมพันธ์อะไรอย่างเงี้ยนะคะซินดี้ก็บอกว่า คือคนที่ประสบเนาะที่เป็นโรคนี้เนี่ยที่ทางฟิลิปปินส์เนี่ยก็คือคนที่ดื่มอืมชอบการดื่มนะคะดื่มมากอะไรอย่างเงี้ยสังสรรค์น่ะว่าง่ายๆนะชอบสังสรรค์ชอบดื่มอะฮะแล้วก็คนที่เลือดออกเนาะเลือดออกนะ bleeding เนี่ยแล้วคราวนี้ก็ปล่อยไว้อะคือไม่ได้คิดว่ามันเป็นเรื่องใหญ่ไงก็ปล่อยไว้เนี่ยแหละ เป็นสาเหตุเป็นสาเหตุที่ทางที่ซินดี้เนาะเขาทำโครงการแล้วเขาบอกอันนี้พูดถึงที่ฟิลิปปินส์เนาะแต่คราวนี้เนี่ยถามว่ามันก็เป็นเมสเซจไปได้ทั่วโลกเนาะถึงแม้ในประเทศเราก็เหมือนกันก็คือซินดี้เขาบอกว่าอยากให้ทุกคนอย่ากลัวการตรวจให้ตรวจให้ไวตรวจให้ไวมันก็ยังมีทางรักษานะคะแล้วก็เขาก็บอกว่าในประเทศเขาเนี่ยคนยังไม่รู้อีกเยอะ ก็คือว่าบางคนอาจจะฐานะไม่ได้ดีอาจจะแบบเป็นคนที่เลยทำให้เขาไม่ได้มีข้อมูลในมือไงว่าจะไปรักษาที่ไหนเขาก็กลัวไม่มีตังค์ที่จะรักษาซินดี้เขาก็บอกว่าเนี่ยไอสิ่งที่เขารณรงค์เนี่ยก็คือว่าเพื่อให้ข้อมูลเนี่ยไปถึงกับคนทุกระดับชั้นโดยเฉพาะคนรากหญ้าคือเวลาป่วยเนี่ยมันก็จะมีแหล่งที่รักษาเนาะที่แบบไม่ต้องเสียตังค์เลยก็มีนะคะคราวนี้เนี่ยซินดี้เนี่ยเขาก็รณรงค์มากเลยว่าเอ่อรู้เร็วดีกว่าไม่รู้แล้วไปเลยเนาะซินดี้เขาแนะนำอย่างนี้ I tell all the fans okay Cindy that even though we raise the example about the cervical cancer, um, you know, arise in Philippines, but it's actually the universal disease. So we can, take what you advise into our consideration as well. Like, the quicker we go for screening, the better treatment,
Yeah.
the quicker we could be recuperating. Uh-huh. It can be curable. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It can be curable. That's why I told some Thai fans, well, so how has successful about your campaigning, how successful that you campaigning your advocacy so far, if you assess yourself.
You know what, Ko? We have witnessed so many women already who have smiles on their faces because they are now cervical cancer free. Yes, so we
Wow.
are so happy with the, I think with the number, it's still a little low, but at least it's growing and at least we are seeing the result. So we are very much thankful that through a small org, not yet that known org, we are already making impact on the lives of many. So I hope that we could further our influence. So I am really using my influence in Binibini Filipinas to partner more with agencies, like-minded individuals whose mission is the same with mine.
Mm. And we all know this, like, the very large impact given to the society as a whole. That definitely is required quite, very much resources in terms of finance, or like necessity. So I mean, what is the reaction when you propose your advocacy to many agencies, both private sector and public sector? Would they, easily understand and, getting on the same boat as you?
Well, what we say to them is to really make them realize that there are so many people who need their help because they have the resources.
Mm.
So it's one way also of strengthening your CRS, your social responsibility, yeah, of the companies. So once you give importance to people's health also, it's one
Mm.
way of giving them hope that for these people who are struggling, we all know that our bodies, it is our most prized possession. So let's
Mm.
help them. If if we have the money, if we have the facilities, let's share it to them. Because only
Mm.
then we would be in a better world if we help one another.
Right. That's good. That's good. I wish that your advocacy will be driven very far, and get it stronger and stronger, and receive more collaboration from many, like, organization and agency, because it can help a lot of people indeed. And as long as I've been talking with a lot of queens, your advocacy is quite outstanding, because it's about physical disease, which also affected mental illness as well. And
Definitely.
also, aside from cervical cancer, what else would you actually interested in?
Well, aside from my work in Crown CDO, we're very much also focusing more in tourism promotion. Since I work in the tourism industry, I work for the local government unit of Misamis Oriental because knowing that we do have the natural resources, because here in the Philippines, tourism also uh, is one of the factors that propel economy.
Mm.
So, yeah, so the tourism sector here is really booming and it's really doing great. So, I'm just so happy that the Department of Tourism is really doing well with its job. Same with the local government units.
Right. Uh-huh. So, you have been working in the tourism industry, and that's right.
Yeah,
Because I also follow the growth of many countries in Asia, and definitely Philippines and many countries in Asian. Okay, especially Thai. We have the main, like several main income, which
yeah.
included tourism as well. So if I would love you to project the future of Philippine tourism, what would you see after COVID-19?
After COVID-19, we are seeing a Philippines that is, of course, strengthening its healthcare system. I think all of the countries should be learning from this pandemic that we really need to put so much effort in the health sector as well, and that we could use tourism as a sector that would create more job opportunities to really bring back the economy of the country. So, open more tourist spots, strengthen our existence, be it in the social networking side. So, I think that's one way also of tourism promotion. And yes, definitely take care of the people because, after all, the people is its economy.
Mm, that's right. Uh-huh. So,
Yeah,
um, I know about if I mean someone wouldn't realize that actually the congested tourism also give like the adverse effects on each country, especially the its effect environment. So, as you has been working in tourism industry for long, especially in the government agency.
yeah,
So, what kind of message would you like to spread to the tourists or to the local?
yeah.
That's actually we gain a lot, in terms of finance from people, traveling, visiting, spending, but in the other way, should we take care of our environment and our national natural resources as well, which affected by the congested tourism.
Yes. So, I think that while we are actually investing on the commercial value of our places, like here in the Philippines, we should also be taking side by side of the environment.
Mm,
That Yeah. So, to all our tourists, let's be responsible
mm,
because we want also for the future generation to experience the beauty of nature. We
mm,
want for them to see what we're enjoying right now. So,
mm,
it would be so selfish for us to destroy the
mm,
beauty.
mm.
Yes.
So, in your province, what is the main tourist attraction?
Miss Orr is mainly focusing on adventure tourism and more on the agriculture side. So
Mm,
what we do there, yes, what we do there is we really equip them with knowledge, with environmental acts, of course, that that these activities would harm the environment. So yeah, so of course there are laws that we pass, ordinances even, so that these people would be knowledgeable of the do's and don'ts. Because it's not just enough that you present to them the paper. Okay, so here's the paper, you read it. It's
mm,
really important also that we show them how to do it.
mm,
So all the leaders there should be the model for, preserving the environment, preserving the beauty of Miss Or.
Mm, okay. I think you very qualified to give
To be a
like
politician.
I think you very qualified to give like some guideline for average tourists who travel. What should they do? I mean, just the normal habit. Okay, what should they do when they going travel? Why not malignant the environment or the local?
Definitely traveling is also, for me, it's one of our stress relievers. We do travel because we want to stay away from so much stress, be it in work
Mm,
or stress from whatever. So we travel to, aside from enjoy the beauty of the nature, we travel to
mm.
connect also with the locals, to help them in their economy, you see. So it's really one of the things that we should look forward post pandemic time, and we are just hoping that we could travel again.
Mm, right. Uh-huh. What about some garbage? Okay, because nowadays
Yeah.
when we look into the news in Thailand also, we got a lot of complaint from local that a lot of tourists just came and go and they leave a lot of garbage and like toxic things to the local and that's affect environment adversely. So what would you I mean what kind of advice that you would like to remind some tourists that um,
Yeah.
you should not do or you should do when you're traveling?
Yes. Speaking of tourists who are throwing their garbages everywhere, it really speaks well of their character, of their behavior. And I think that we should make them aware also of the consequences, that, what happens to the environment affects so many people. Everything is interrelated. The
Mm,
world, I mean, the people, the humankind, and the environment. So we really need to take good care of it. That's a very easy act of throwing your garbage. Here in the Philippines we have this clay go. So it means clay, clean as you go. So that's
mm,
clay go. Yeah,
mm,
and I'm very much happy that most of our citizens are already practicing clay go. So I
mm,
hope that we could be good example. You see, that
mm,
we could be model for the different countries as well.
all right. So what is the prevalent problem or complaint did you get from from your previous work like the tourist
Yeah.
officer, you know I would love to know.
Yeah, I think it's still more on the problem of proper waste disposal, garbages. So we are still seeing a lot of them throwing it everywhere, and yeah, so we should definitely address that simple problem, because it would really affect a lot. It would affect the nature, it would affect the beauty, especially the beauty of the beaches, the beauty of the waterfalls, swimming pools even.
Right, right. I mean, Thailand has actually closed the beach. Some
Yes,
notable beach for
that's
two.
good.
Yes, 2 or 3 years. I mean, as first our government decide doing that, Thai just shocking because we didn't realize that we got to the point. That's so
Yeah.
serious that we have. I mean, we exploit from our nature too much. Until
Yes.
to the point that we have to restore by closing
That's
this. So
cool. We don't
so
want that to happen. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So all the fans, according to my telling, the experience in Thailand, and also some guideline from Cindy, who actually work in the industry directly. So I mean, be more, please, be more responsible when
Yes,
traveling.
and you know what, Ko, we've already passed so many environmental laws already here in the Philippines. In fact, we are one of the countries who's been greatly doing that. So what we really need is strong implementation of
Mm,
these laws, of these ordinances.
mm. So what about that? Probably people wouldn't realize this. I mean, it wouldn't be broadcast enough. Is that possible? So people, just few people know about the effect of the law.
I would like to believe that we lack more on the awareness side. Yeah.
อืมright right อือฮึคืออย่างนี้นะครับคือซินดี้เนี่ยเขาทำงานแบบว่าเป็นนี่เลยนะข้าราชการนะทางด้านการจังหวัดเขาคราวนี้เนี่ยเขาก็บอกว่าปัญหาเนี่ยที่พบเนาะก็คือเรื่องการทิ้งขยะ อืมคือในจังหวัดเขาเนี่ยหลักๆเนาะก็คือว่าเป็นแบบที่แบบเที่ยวแบบผจญภัยที่เที่ยวผจญภัยนะคะแล้วก็แบบเหมือนแบบเพาะปลูกเกษตรกรรมแต่ในขณะเดียวกันแน่นอนฟิลิปปินส์น่ะเขาก็มีชายหาดมีอะไรอยู่แล้วเขาก็บอกว่าปัญหาที่เขาได้รับรู้เลยคอมเพลนกันบ่อยๆก็คือว่าเรื่องการทิ้งขยะคือทิ้งไม่เป็นที่แล้วแบบมันเป็นพิษต่อชายหาดน่ะแล้วเขาก็บอกว่าจริงๆอะกฎหมายด้านสิ่งแวดล้อมมีเยอะ แต่เพียงแต่ว่าคนไม่ปฏิบัติไงเขาก็บอกว่าเนี่ยมันก็ต้องช่วยกันแก้ไขนะ raise awareness อย่างเงี้ยก็เลยยกตัวอย่างว่าอย่างบ้านเราเนาะก็แบบถึงขนาดปิดหาด2 ปีก็บอกว่าตอนนั้นคนไทยก็ช็อกแล้วเรามาถึงจุดนี้ได้ยังไงเขาก็บอกเขาก็ไม่อยากให้ถึงจุดนั้นเลยที่ถึงจะต้องแบบปิดหาดปิดอะไรเนาะเขาก็บอกว่าเนี่ยถ้าทุกคน aware ถ้าคน aware นะมันก็มันก็จะดีอันนี้เขาบอกนะawareness นะคะand also Cindy I mean you're very independent ladies and I just feel that you're very strong and I would love to know have you ever feel fear at all because I feel that you're very strong lady.
Definitely, ko, I fear bees.
What?
Bees.
Bees?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So many things that I'm afraid of. But life in general, I always see fear as a motivation. Like in Bini Bini, there was so much pressure given that the last Cagayanon who represented Cagayan de Oro was Pia Wurtzbach. She's from my hometown.
Oh, really?
Yes, in Cagayan de Oro. And that was in 2015. I competed in 2020, so 5 years after. Well, still there was pressure, but pressure isn't supposed to break us. I considered that very pressure to make me so that it would strengthen my character come coronation night.
Mm, right. So, what do you think when people just perceive you as a dark horse who came from behind and snatched a crown? Clearly, after that question and after that answer, what do you think about when people mention about this?
Well, yes, I would like to agree with them that I was a dark horse during that time. It was my first national pageant ever, and you see, I don't have that very strong presence in social media compared to these girls who
Yes.
competed in Binibini for like several times, some of them, and they were really pageant veterans. Ko. So at the yeah, so at the same time, I think it was really an honor working with these girls because they also taught us so many things, like tips. They gave us advices.
Mm,
Yes, what to prepare for this part, what to do for this part. So you see, despite of the competition, there was really sisterhood. So I
mm.
was so yes.
You're quite a phenomenon because you just joined in the meeting as a first timer and then you just won. That's amazing. And it's very hard because surrounded you, most of them are veteran, a seasoned with the queen. Uh-huh. More experience than you. Uh-huh. So some fan would love to know about your strategy that your team and you laid out after you perform swimming suit preliminary until the coronation night because it's quite amazing over just short period of time you just overturn from ordinary contestant to be a very outstanding one at the end.
You know, I would like to believe, Cole, that my performance during that time was really a product of our preparation, of our good preparation. That to be prepared is really half the victory. I I said to myself that there were no shortcuts, that we
Mm,
need to be really relentless. We need to be prepared. We need to give our very best. And I'm just so happy to be surrounded with such amazing core team. You see, I have this beauty camp in Cagayan de Oro, and I know that they were all professionals. Ko. They do have separate works, but still, they gave me so much time for me
mm,
to for me to be able to conquer the national stage. They helped me train hard, work hard, and really they pushed me to do more. So as you see, it really takes time to build a stronger, to build a better version of yourself. And I wouldn't be where I am now if it weren't for these people who were there for me during my struggles.
mm. So, what kind of lesson what kind of lesson would you like to give to many people out there still yet winning? Okay, like to regain their own confidence and not being intimidated by presence of like more renowned contestant, or have more present in the media.
Well, you know what, Ko? We do acknowledge that in beauty pageants, as much as we claim that all girls are treated equally, you know, there will always be girls whose commercial viability are lower than others.
Mm,
You see, there will always be those girls whose following from pageant media are not as potentially shareable or as trending compared to others. So in my case, yes, I was an underdog. I was a dark horse. So my message for girls like me is to really know your purpose. And I think it's very important that you know that you are in a competition against these girls and definitely against yourself. So yes, you need to wake up each day, every day of the competition, ready to step up than you were yesterday. As I have mentioned earlier, never stop training. You only train once you have that crown. You only stop training once you have that crown on your head. But in
mm.
my case, there is no stopping because I still have that intercon pageant.
So, how often did you train during the contest? A week, I
Almost
mean,
every
a week.
day. Almost every day.
Really? Mm.
Definitely.
So you went to the studio, or like you trained at home, and
Yes.
was training.
Yeah, so we have physical trainings.
Mm,
when IATF, or our interagency task force, allows
mm,
us to do physical training. So we do have that. We also have our virtual trainings most of the time.
mm,
Yes. So once we do Q&A sessions, we do it
mm,
online or virtually. Mm-mm.
mm. So, what part of training, I mean, personally, did you find the hardest?
The hardest would have to be the walk or the pasarela. Yes, I think that's your favorite in Thailand, the walk.
Yes, yes, that's right.
The grand walk.
Yep, yep. We train a lot of walk, and most of our contestants, I mean, rarely okay,
Yeah.
rarely walk is the hardest thing, but in Thailand, definitely, we find speech is the hardest.
That's all right. We all have our weaknesses and we all have
Uh-huh.
our strengths. Yeah. We should embrace it and acknowledge it and work hard for it.
Yeah, that's right. So, because of you now being considered a very, very incredible speaker, what would you? I mean, if I would love you to advise or to share some some guideline for many contestants out there worldwide to be following your footsteps as a good speaker. Do you have any secret to share to them?
Yeah, so definitely my secret ko is that I don't just enjoy the journey, and I want for them, for future pageant queens, also for those girls and children who want to be in the pageantry world, when they grow up, to don't just enjoy the moment, but live each moment fighting for your dream. And by that, I mean that you don't need to be complacent. You don't have to be complacent. There is no time for complacency. And
Mm,
really, really work hard. Surround yourself with the right people who can really guide you, like for your Q&A, for your passerella, for your outfits, your daily, you see, your daily attire.
mm,
Yes,
mm,
yes.
So,
Mm-mm. It's
I mean,
very important that you have your team, your core team, as we call it.
right, right. So, if I would like you to, to give some tips, for someone would like to develop the communication skill, as great as you, what word would you like to say to them? I mean, to help them to enhance their communication skill, how to answer poignantly, relevant, and definitely, yeah, touching, and in time,
Yeah,
and,
so
and get the point. Definitely get the point.
yeah, so as I have mentioned earlier, Corey, they really need to read up a lot, because only then you would be able to relate to the question if you have that enough knowledge. If you equip yourself with knowledge, if you know what you're talking about, if you know the topic, because you've read it beforehand. So it seems
Mm,
like you already have an idea on what to talk about.
mm,
Yes, and even though you're good, you're a great public speaker, you still need to train hard, because public speaking is so different when you're there upstage with so many people looking at you, and then with that so much pressure. I would say that it's still very different. So train hard, because your preparation would determine your achievement.
mm. Okay. I would love you to, probably it might be your personal preference, but I would love to know. I mean, if you got the question and you got 30 seconds, which way would you go? Okay, between like the short content but very relevant, but try to drag, you know, as long as until the time ends. And the other one, you try to put so many things, okay, into 30 seconds. Which style would you prefer when answering the question?
Yes, you should be very much mindful of the time also, especially in Binibini, wherein we were only given, I think, 30 seconds to wrap up everything. And in my case, I would really want to make or to end it with a bang. I would really want to make an impact statement.
Mm,
That's why I really deliver those lines. And I think it won't make you less also of a candidate if you go beyond the time limit. It's still up to the organization
mm,
if how
mm.
much points they would deduct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great tip อ่ะฮะสำหรับแฟนๆนะคนไทยเนาะก็เนี่ยเขาตอบคำถามเก่งมากซินดี้ก็เลยถามว่าเนี่ยซินดี้ตอบเก่งเนี่ยมีอะไรแชร์หน่อยเทคนิคเนี่ยระหว่างสมมุตินะตอบแบบว่าเนื้อหาเนี่ยคอนเทนต์มีนิดเดียวแต่ว่ามันตรงแล้วก็ตอบลากให้เวลามันหมดไปกับอีกอันนึงก็คือว่าตอบอัดเข้าไป คือซินดี้บอกว่าตัวเขาเนี่ยอย่างแรกนะเขากลับไปจุดเดิมก็คือว่าเราต้องรู้ในสิ่งที่เราพูดเพราะฉะนั้นเราต้องอ่านเยอะรู้ข่าวสารบ้านเมืองในโลกนะรู้ให้หมดแล้วเราถึงดึงมาใช้ได้อันนี้หนึ่งนะพออันที่สองก็คือว่าต้องตอบให้มัน impact เพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยในคำตอบของซินดี้เนี่ยซินดี้เขาจะมักจะมีแบบว่าคล้ายๆว่าลายให้จำนะคะคำพูดเนาะที่มัน impact นะแล้วคราวนี้เขาก็จะตอบเขาก็บอกว่า บางครั้งเนี่ยเราต้องดูเวลาแน่นอนแต่สมมุติว่าถ้าเราตอบเนี่ยเนื้อหา impact อาจจะเลยเวลาไปนิดหน่อยเขาในส่วนตัวเขานะเขามองว่าเขาก็ไม่ได้ถูกตัดให้ตกรอบหรอกในความรู้สึกเขาอะเพียงแต่ว่ามันขึ้นอยู่กับองค์กรอะหรือว่าการประกวดที่เราประกวดอะเขาจะมองยังไงมากกว่าอะฮะตรงนี้นะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยถ้าเป็นตัวซินดี้อะเขาก็จะตอบมากที่สุดเท่าที่เขารู้นะครับแล้วก็ตอบตรงประเด็นด้วยแล้วก็ที่สำคัญต้องมีโค้ด ให้คนจำเนาะอันนี้เป็นเทคนิคของซินดี้นะครับซินดี้เนี่ยคือว่าเขาใช้ปากโดยตรงเลยตั้งแต่แบบมัธยมเนาะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเป็นอะไรที่ดีเนาะ and just a few questions before we go Cindy. So I mean, you work a lot, meet a lot of people according to your profession. I would love to know, and also you being a woman, and now you being a voice to many voiceless as a beauty queen. Um, would you like would you have you ever find yourself being intimidated by men when working side by side with them?
I don't really see myself being intimidated by men because I grew up in a family wherein we do acknowledge the strength of the different genders. So I think that's what we should practice right now. That we should give both genders an opportunity to grow, an opportunity to speak up, an opportunity to learn from each other, so that no one would feel a little less or devalued, and really just respect each other's differences and definitely embrace also the strengths.
Mm, that's good idea. Uh-huh. So, would you, I mean, would you feel that women um, gaining the top position? I mean, gaining enough the top position nowadays?
I
Yep, going.
um top position in government or in any
Yep.
other,
I mean,
yeah, in any other sector in
yep,
general.
yeah,
Yeah, so
especially government, especially government.
especially government. So I think leadership positions should not be based on gender. It
Mm,
should really be based on the quality service of these people. You know, their intention. Is it pure? Is it for? Is it? Is it? Is it beneficial for the majority? Like,
mm,
would they, yeah, like, would they cater to the needs of the marginalized sector? It's really important to know the purity of their soul, of their hearts, and even their intellect. So it has nothing to do with gender. As long as this person is ready to serve,
mm.
then we should be voting him or her for that position.
Right. So I think it's probably a little bit strange question for beauty queen because I never asked, but you're going to be the first one. You're a woman, right? And we all like knew that nowadays we have um, witnessed a lot of single mom. Uh-huh. And
Yeah.
also we acknowledge them, okay, but the other hand there are also increasingly number of single dad. So I think the single dad also experience a hard job as much as a single mom do, but probably they got a very little voice. So as a woman, okay, and I do believe that you treasure equality. So if you can voice for like the right or privilege, like in terms of profession, leave or something for the single dad, what would you like to say? So the member of society would understand that it's a really hard job as well, to be a single dad, not only being a single mom.
Yes, we do acknowledge both moms and even fathers who are really single handedly taking care of their children. We do commend them, we do acknowledge them for that strength, their power. I think it should be also an eye opener for us, for
Mm,
everyone, that once we get married or before getting married, uh, we should be stable
mm,
financially,
mm,
economically, and we should be emotionally stable, and that the I think both parties are very much ready to, yeah, to be married, so that um there won't be any bombs, or I mean, of course there would be some struggles along the way, but we are hoping that it wouldn't end to separation. So right now we have so much respect for all the single moms, single fathers around the world. We do
mm.
commend you, and that strength alone that they've showed, it's one of a kind.
So, as a woman, if men wouldn't ask you, okay, but actually they have like especially single dad would also need something from society, So, as a woman, what would you think you gonna give them without as being asked by them?
Well, I think it's more on showing compassion to them. We should
Mm,
be very much sensitive also to them, and that there are things also that they can be learning from women. So I think it won't take so much of our time to share that to them if we have, if we have enough time. So give them all the knowledge that they need, especially uh once their children will start going to school. They really need advices also from moms. So
mm-hmm. So,
yeah. So
yep, yep. So, I think this episode is quite incredible because you're a woman, but you actually call out for a man. That's good. That's really great. That's really great. And also I probably it's probably not happened yet in Philippines. What if some single dads would love to request for um, work up leave you know leave work leaving for like to take time to raise their kid. So would you agree or not?
I definitely would agree with paternity leave. You mean?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that because working in the government also, I have experience working with so many fathers.
Mm.
In yeah, in our industry, in the tourism industry. Hi to Urseth and Blue. And yeah, so those are my friends. They are fathers. So the struggles that they share with us, uh cooking food, washing the dresses of their children. So you see, they still deserve it also. Same with women. I think we should also value the efforts, the hard work of the fathers.
So if I would love you to call out for them, would you think that single dad um, getting enough understanding or sympathy from most of the member of society?
Definitely, I think we should be working hard to give them more understanding, especially now po, that we are just only focusing more on the single moms. Like most of our programs in the government are for single mothers.
Mm.
So it would have to be both for both genders. So for single parents.
Mm.
Yeah.
Very great. So great indeed. So great indeed. And for tonight, I noticed that Cindy very attentive. Okay, and she kept listening me very carefully and try to figure out the best possible answer to all the audience. And she gave a lot of good thought for all the question that I asked. That tell us that she very wise and very knowledgeable in so many issues in the world indeed. And I would love to to say thank you to Bini Bini organization and Ray Santos and
Yeah.
definitely Cinderella, Faye Obenita and her team for visiting my interview tonight. And a lot of people just waiting for you because a lot of people just would love to get the idea how to be a great speaker. Okay, as you, and also it's quite a tradition. Cindy, might you say some kind words to the audience, and definitely please shout out to like invite people to follow my page KP1 Worldwide and my IG Kopanasa.
Yeah, so once again, I am so grateful for all the support that I have received from the Filipino community, and I'm just so grateful to BPCI for entrusting me the Binibining Pilipinas Intercontinental title. I hope that all of you will still rally behind my back as I raise our flag in the intercontinental community. So looking forward to your support. Once again, I have nothing but gratitude. You've been my source of inspiration to my teams, to the house, to Aces and Queens, to the designers I have worked with, to the creatives, photographers, stylists, national costume provider, designers, Sir Odilon Simpao, Mama Rene Salud, to all the brands, the sponsors, and my family, my supporters, Intercontinental, Cindy Fellas. You really fueled me to give my all. Thank you for your unparalleled support, for your unlimited commitment. Maraming salamat. And also, I am so happy to be receiving so much love from the land of smiles. Kapkun ka. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, please do follow Kophanasa on IG and KP1 Worldwide on YouTube, Facebook, and most definitely BB Filipinas Official on Instagram and Facebook, and Miss Intercontinental on Instagram and Facebook. Also, if you want to get to know more about me, please do follow my page. It's at Cindy Obenita on Instagram and Facebook. Thank you so much to everyone for tuning in. Thank you so much, admin ko, for having me.
And also I forgot indeed just a little bit. Okay, we just can't miss this question. So how you prepare for Miss Intercontinental contest? How far has it been?
Well, right now we undergo super intensive and rigorous trainings, and definitely our workout sessions, home workout sessions for now, because the gyms are closed, and pasarela, the walk, the grand walk.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So a lot of fans already sent me DM already that they're confident that you're going to bring Philippines the second crown. Okay.
Hopefully, ko. Thank you for that confidence.
And also, I would love to thank you all the fans worldwide, especially Thai คนไทย นะครับ and Philippines watching, and also from around the world, from UK as well. And I'm glad indeed that Cindy accept my invitation. I'm your fan. I watched you answering the question that night. Once you drop mic, I just exclaimed, okay, live before my fans, that she nailed it. so so please follow her, any movement of her, okay, at her IG, CINDYOBENITA, Cindy Obenita. All right, and please follow me as well. And thank you very much for all the support that you to Cindy and all my guests, and definitely for and me. Okay, for me and my page ขอบคุณมากนะคะสำหรับแฟนคนไทยเนาะที่เข้ามานะคะยังไงก็ฝากสนับสนุนคุณซินดี้นะ คุณซินดี้เขาเป็นคนเก่งมากเนาะแล้วก็มีจิตใจงามมากนะคะก็เธอก็จะไปประกวด Miss Intercontinental นะคะตอนนี้ก็แบบว่าเทรนหนักมากเลยนะตามที่เขาบอกนะแทบจะทุกอย่างนะก็เป็นกำลังใจให้คุณซินดี้ด้วยนะครับแล้วก็ฝากติดตามคุณซินดี้ที่ซินดี้โอบินาต้านะ IG นะครับแล้วก็ฝากติดตามเพจนะ follow ด้วยนะก็ KP1 Worldwide นะคะ Facebook นะแล้วก็ IG โก้พนัสสารนะคะ แล้วเจอกันพรุ่งนี้นะครับ so all the fans, please see you tomorrow, just don't ever miss. Okay, tomorrow we going to meet a lady of class. Okay, Eva Maureen Monte, Miss Globe in Philippines 2021, the one that I'm waiting for long time. Okay, I'm waiting for her. Okay, actually I'm waiting for everyone. All right. For her, I've been quietly, okay, follow her, right? And thank you indeed for information you share, Cindy. I'm so glad indeed, and all the fans. And see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Manila and 6 p.m. Bangkok time, with very nice program. Okay, with Maureen Monte tomorrow night. Thank you indeed. สวัสดีครับ maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat.
Hi, สวัสดีครับ